طيب, good evening. Thank you for joining and sorry for being late. I have a little bit of flu, so flu, not something else.
سلامتك يا دكتور.
الله يسلمك. شكرا شكرا.
ألف سلامة يا دكتور.
سلامتك يا دكتور. ألف سلام عليكم.
ميرسي يا عبد الله. ميرسي. So few things before we start. A few things before we start. First, I just have sent you a revision sheet for the exam.
مروان
Right. Few things before we start. I have sent you a revision sheet for the exam, and it contains one type of questions, which may be the hardest one actually, related to questions that require either coding or designing. Yeah. So basically, how the exam will look like. It is divided into three main categories. The first category is true or false or multiple choice questions. The second category is basically tracing question, and the third category is actually a coding or UML design question. And in the revision sheet I have attached, it contains actually the third type, which is the most difficult type. It contains coding and designing questions more or less. Um, uh, so uh, actually, uh, actually, this is how the exam looks like. The exam is when? The exam is next Saturday at 12:30 p.m. At the university.
Doctor,
Uh, yes,
what is the weight of this exam? Yeah, how much percent?
it's 15%.
15? Okay. Yes, thank you, Doctor.
Okay. So, so the exam, as I said, will be Saturday 12:30. What you are required to do is few things. The first thing that you have to read the slides very well because there are multiple choice questions, and so you have to read the slides very well. And second, you have to solve the review questions. You have to solve the review questions more or less. And I may also send you additional questions during this week as well. Yeah. So that's it for the exam.
يعني المالتيبل تشويس كله هيجي من السلايدز.
أكيد.
اوكي. واليو ام ال او
لا أكيد مش من السلايدز، يعني أنت أكيد لازم تفهم UML يعني how to design يعني.
بس how do you study UML في الاساينمنت؟ اوكي.
Well, كده I give you one or two exercises, and I might give you also some questions during the week for UML as well.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Best thing is to start the review questions as fast as possible. Yeah.
دكتور هو هيكون في بونus في الإكزام؟
In this exam there will be a bonus of I didn't prepare the exam yet, but I expect there will be a bonus of 15 marks.
Okay, thank you.
What else questions you have?
Doctor, will this week's lessons be included in the exam?
Yes, this class, but not the next one.
Okay, thank you.
Part of this class, actually, not all of this class. Any further questions before I start? Okay. So today, one remark also, I am trying to give you Sunday and Wednesday face-to-face, but still it's not confirmed by the university whether positive or negative. So until so, just don't raise your hopes up, or at least don't lose hope also as well. Yeah. So
بس
there's still a hope. Yeah.
try your best يعني، واحنا ممكن نعمل اي حاجه، ممكن نساين حاجات او يعني نبعت ايميلز، عشان بس والله الكلاس كان حلو قوي لما نزلنا.
طيب حاضر. اوكي. It's the same for the other class. Yes, I will try. I will try my best. يعني also I have the same case. My boys are having online and they are having troubles. يعني, and by the way, online is difficult for me the same as you also. يعني I will try my best. يعني I see. Okay. So let me start today. Let me start today. Let me start today. Today is OOD. And what's really OOD? OOD is object-oriented design. And this is basically a class diagram. And a class diagram is part of UML. We will know again what's UML, and we'll be knowing again what's a class diagram. So those slides are from entirely from online resources. They are not part of any particular book, and they are based on a lot of online resources to make it on this shape. Yeah. Okay. So what's UML? So UML stands for a unified modeling language, and when we say UML, we always say that UML is a design language. What does it mean, a design language? It means that it is a language used for designing object-oriented. It is a language used for designing object-oriented. And basically, it is independent of any object-oriented language. It is independent. So it is used for C++, it is used for Java, it is used for C#, etc., etc. The most important aspect that UML is used for is that it is used to design. It is used to design. And let me give you a simple example about design. I told you this example before. Actually, uh, when your father wants to build a house or wants to build a building, or even if he wants uh, to design a flat that exists in a building. So what does he do? He may go and bring an architect, مهندس معماري. And then he tells him what is his requirement for the flat. So the flat should contain 3 rooms and more or less one big master room, and then 1 room or 2 or 3 for the kids, and a reception. And the reception should contain 2 parts or 3 parts or 1 part. And I should bring ACs. It should be the flat should all the house should be connected to the internet, etc. Then I will have an open kitchen, etc., etc., etc. So this is called a business requirement. A business requirement is actually what what the customer wants. What the customer wants. So this is a business requirement. So uh, very simple example, if you want to buy a car, So you have your own specifications for the cars that you want to buy. So returning back to the flat, so your father will say his requirements to the architect, and then this architect will open a software, something that is called maybe one of the best software for this is called AutoCAD. I'm not sure it's I think it's used till this moment, yeah. And then he will start on the computer translating what does your dad need in the flat. He will translate it into a design, and this design will exactly specify each and everything that you can see inside your flat. Assuming that your father wants to build a villa, then the design will include a small or a big garden. It will include maybe one additional room for the maid, etc., etc. So basically, the design will describe many things. So it will describe how the house is interconnected with each other. So, for example, the kitchen is connected to the living room, and the living room is connected to the reception. And I don't know, there will be a security device here, and there will be some lights here and there. So this design describes exactly what your flat will or house will look like. And then what will happen? It will happen that a contractor will come to this architect, and then he will take a contractor means مقاول, or or your dad might play this role, the role of the contractor. At the end of the day, if we assume that there is a contractor, مقاول, then he will bring some employees to be able to bring such a design to reality. So يعني من الآخر كده بيجيب شوية عمال وبيبتدي يحول الديزاين ده into a real thing. So he will say, he will start to put decoration here and there. He will start to put whatever has been designed for the for the walls, and for the bathrooms, etc., etc. So back to UML. UML is a design language, and it is called unified because it is a universal language that exists in Egypt and all over the globe. So UML is a unified modeling language. Modeling means a design language. Okay, so it's not a programming language, and it is not tied to specific programming language. What's important about UML is that it describes what? It describes what the system will look like. It describes what the system will look like. It doesn't really describe how the system will do it. يعني in Arabic it describes البيت يحتوي على ايه، لكن it doesn't describe ازاي ده هيتحقق يعني. Similarly, into applications, so UML will describe what the system will look like, but it doesn't describe how the system will do it. How the system will do it will be based on the implementation that you will be providing. What is the implementation? It will describe how it will be translated into C++ language. Right. At this course, we will study one part of UML, which is the class diagram, which is basically the class diagram. And what does the class diagram has? The class diagram has obviously classes. So it is named a class diagram, a class because it will describe classes. And second, it will describe interactions or relations about those classes. So it will describe classes and it will describe potentially a relationship among those classes, and it will describe a relationship among those classes. So we have studied uh, uh, we have studied one relationship that exists among classes. Can anyone tell me what is this relationship?
Inheritance.
Inheritance, that's perfect. So inheritance is the relationship that we have studied among those classes. And what inheritance describes, this is something that we will take that we will take in a moment. So we have studied already inheritance. We have studied already inheritance. So once again, UML is a unified modeling language. It is a language of design. It will describe classes and it will describe how those classes are interconnected with each other, how those classes are interconnected with each other. Okay? So let's move forward. So in UML, you have to specify classes as nouns. So a class might be a chair, a class might be a table, a class might be a button, a class I'm sorry for the coughing, but you have to bear with me. I caught a cold, yeah. So a class should be a noun, a table, a chair, a treadmill, a button, a bottle. So all classes should be named as nouns, and it is really preferred. It is really preferred that you make it a single noun. You make it a single noun. يعني مفرد. So a chair, class, tree, uh, uh, employee, manager, and stuff like this. So a class should have a noun, اسم مفرد. This is the class. Then the attributes should be verb. The functions should be verbs. So as we have described in our section before, so the method should be a verb. So this means drink water, going to school, having fun, have fun, whatsoever. It should be a verb. It should be described a verb. And then we are having a relationship between classes and each other. So a class diagram, nouns, and then verbs, and then relationships. Relationships means interactions between classes and each other. verbs means functions, and nouns, they are the class names. They are the class names. Does anyone have a question so far? All is good يا جماعة? Okay.
Yes.
معلش, there's a bit of theoretical explanation at the beginning and at the end of the lecture, or towards the middle. Fun will start.
Doctor, is this included in the midterm?
Yes, it is included in the midterm, yes. But not all of this lecture, part of it. I will tell you exactly what's included. But next lecture is not included in the midterm, okay?
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Doctor.
Okay. And also we will talk about what's included in the midterm in the upcoming few days. So we know by now the class or an object, and the object, what does it mean? And then someone tells me what's inheritance.
Inheritance is when we have parent class and child class. So the child class gets all the properties and member variables of the parent class, in addition to its own variables. For example, I have figure, a class called figure that has certain properties and certain variables, and I have a class called circle. So circle inherits all these properties and variables from and functions from figure, and in addition, it has its own functions and variables.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Muhammad. And someone other than Muhammad tells me what's abstraction.
Abstraction is like when we use public and private and protected for the attributes or the functions in a class.
Yes. Not
so
really.
if we use,
but please explain. Maybe you understand it in a different way. Yeah.
Okay, so like when we use the public, we are hiding it from other class cannot use it. Public attributes, sorry, private attributes, and when we use the public ones, the other classes can still use them.
Yes, it is majorly correct, Ali. However, abstraction means in general that we are hiding the implementation details. So when we are having, Ali, stay with me, when we are having an abstract class, so this means that this class doesn't have what? Has only, this class has only what? And doesn't have what?
It has only the declaration of the function and doesn't have the implementation.
Exactly. So the abstract class have the definition of the functions, and it doesn't have the implementation in C++. And this is called what kind of file, ya Ali, in general?
Header file.
Header file. Thank you very much. So let's go to another friend. Let's have Zaif. So Zaif, what's encapsulation?
Yes, encapsulation is like when we put all the needed data together. So like everything in the class, we don't put like functions outside the class. Everything needed for the class to put it together, and we protect it from someone using it. Like I will set it that no one can use it.
Okay, that's fine, but I have one correction. We put the data and the function, not only the data, Zaif. Okay?
Okay, yes.
And I'll ask another friend, so I'll ask Abdurrahman Talat. So what's polymorphism, Abdurrahman? Abdurrahman, you're with me? So Ahmed Al-Hager, what's polymorphism?
Polymorphism is when you're able to differentiate between different functions through the parameters you pass. For example, you might have a default constructor with no parameters that sets all the integers to 0. And you might have another constructor with the same name that takes 3 parameters, and then they set it to whatever number the user wants. And the program is able to tell the difference between them because of the parameters you put in. So it's able to decide if you want the default
But
one.
this is called yes, that's right. But it is more general. What you are describing, Ahmed, is overloading. However,
Oh,
there's overriding as well. So polymorphism in general, that functions are able to exist in different forms. So because this is so general, so polymorphism, as we explained in the previous lecture, it contains overloading and it contains overriding. And anyone other than Ahmed tells me what's overriding? Yalla, as a view.
Overriding is when we
No, not you, Muhammad. You took a chance.
When a function is inherited, a pure function, and we change its implementation.
Can you repeat again?
When a function is inherited from a parent class,
yes,
pure function, and we rewrite its implementation, a different implementation in the child class.
Yes, that's fine, Yahya. So what Yahya is saying is that we have a function, and this function is redefined in the child class. So I can have a function in the I can define a function that exists in the parent class, and then it will be redefined in the child class. And Yahya, for this part, we usually use the word what to dictate that this is a polymorphic relationship, a polymorphic function.
Virtual, I think.
Yes, we use virtual. Okay. Okay, thank you, Yahya. So a class diagram again. So a class diagram again basically contains the classes, their methods and their attributes, and it contains the relationship between different classes and objects. So what's not represented in the class diagram? What's not represented in the class diagram is the implementation details. So I have so I have the header of the function. I have the header of the function, but I really don't have how this function is implemented in C++. So this is basically this is basically how the class looks like. This is basically how the class will look like in UML. And let's take it piece by piece. So this red rectangle is the class, and this is the name of the class. So obviously the name of the class is rectangle, and apparently those are the attributes of the class. And we have the minus. It is private, minus is private, plus is public, and forget about derived. And then we have the hash. for protected. What's protected? This is what we will discuss in a moment. So basically, I repeat, this is the name of the class, and then those are the names of the attributes. So this is the data type of the attribute, and then you have to have those two dots. This is the name of the attribute, and this is basically what are called visibility, the attributes visibility. So we have minus. So minus means private, and this is basically not seen except by myself. This is not seen except by myself, except by myself. Then we have plus, and this is called a public function. And this public means that is seen by everyone. So any object that is related to this class can see all the function provided that those are public. And even the inherited or the child class can see the public attributes and the public function. And then we will discuss in a while protected, but generally protected, this is related to inheritance. Protected is related to inheritance. Protected is related to inheritance. Protected is related to inheritance. And what does this mean? Those means that those functions or attributes are seen only by the children. يعني ولادي هيشوفوا الفانكشنز دول او الاتريبيوتس دول، لكن other than ولادي ما حدش يشوف حاجة. Private means it's private to me. Protected means that the attributes and the methods, they are seen by the children. They are seen by the children. So this part is basically for the attributes, and this part is basically for the functions. So this is the name of the function, and this is basically a constructor, and it is a parameterized constructor. Why? Because it does take parameters, and this is the name of the attribute, and this is the data type of the attribute, and this is the two dots, and this is the two dots. And you are required in your assignment to document the classes without any relationship in the shape as this shape. So once again, this is the name of the class. Once again, this is the name of the attributes. Those are the visibility. And then this is the name of the constructor, and this is the name of the function. And if you have here two dots and double, this means that this function returns a double. If it doesn't return anything, it's a void function, then we don't see this two dots. Yes, Maya.
دكتور هو is it shown مثلا أو ممكن أعرف لو الكلاس ده it's a child class أو it's going to inherit from another class ولا لا؟
Yes, it will be shown in a moment. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm just describing classes without any information how classes will be interconnected with each other, Maya. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
So this is what we have been describing. This is the name of the class. So it's better that I have. So let me have you, Maya. So Maya, so what is the class name here?
Student.
Student. How many attributes do we have?
Two.
Two.
لا. Yes, two.
Yes, two. 2. Ignore this part equal blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. And can you tell me what are the names of the two attributes?
Name registered in.
And what are the
What
data
their type
types?
is string. First one string, second one, I'm not really sure yet.
So it should be what,
think.
I think.
Maybe it's what's it called? I forgot. The one where we initialize, we use the name of the class as the data type. So maybe, yeah, this is inherited from a class.
No, not really. Can anyone tell me what's the data type for this registered in?
A class called course.
Yes,
The class
class
called
call. Yes, yes. Yes, Muhammad, and yes, another Muhammad, yeah. So registered in is having a data type as a course. And what is course? It's really another class. So back to Maya. Those are public attributes or private attributes?
Public.
Public. And then how many functions do we have?
2.
2. Registered and is registered, and C is an object that is related to the class course, and the second function returns what?
A Boolean.
Maya?
A
A
Boolean.
Boolean. So there's 2 dots and a Boolean. Yes, yes, yes. So thank you, Maya. Have a look for 10 seconds for this, and then we will be continue, inshallah.
Doctor, I'm sorry, I have another question.
Yes, yes.
هو مش المفروض لو اسم ال registered in ده التايب بتاعها course with these functions بياخدوا من البارامتر بتاعه course واسم الكلاس هنا student فمش المفروض إنه as if it inherited مثلا from course, that's why we're using.
No. Just wait for a couple of more slides, yeah, or 3 slides.
Okay.
There's a it is called a relation, some sort of a relationship, yeah. Okay. Okay. So in general, there are 4 main relationships between classes and each other. So in general, there are 4 relationships between classes and each other. The first one is called association, and the second is inheritance, the third is aggregation, and the fourth is composition. And if we go to this this very nice illustrating picture, So so I'll have Reem to help me as she helped me in the previous lecture. So Reem, are you here?
Yes.
So you will help me today, Reem, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So if you see this picture, what is the relationship, in your opinion, between this girl and the dog? In English, forget about the crab of C++.
Ownership.
And ownership. Okay, that's fine. So does it mean if the dog dies, then the lady will die?
No.
No, it doesn't mean so. And what is a dog?
A pet. An animal.
Yes. It's a pet. It's an animal. So first relationship is that this lady owns a dog. but the dog's life and the lady's life are different, but they are associated with each other. We will not talk C++ for a while, يا جماعة, but for a small while actually, because this is very important to understand what is association, aggregation, and composition. So we will spend 5 minutes telling each other stories. So basically, the owner and the dog. So the owner has a life, the dog has a life, and they own so the owner owns the dog, but the dog, is it a part of the owner or it's not a part of the owner?
Not a part.
Yes, not a part. Okay. And then the dog is a pet or an animal. If we have a cat, so if this lady has a cat, so the dog and cat is a pet. So this means what sort of a relationship here?
Association.
No. Dog, cat, and the pet or an animal.
They're all the same type.
They're all the same type, but yes, what is the relationship in this case?
I don't know.
So it's basically inheritance.
Oh yeah, right.
So
معاه الصوت قطع ولا عندي أنا بس؟
لا الصوت قطع.
تقريبا الدكتور lost connection.
No.
do you hear me, يا جماعة?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Yeah, doctor, we can hear you now.
Okay. I'm sorry, I got disconnected. So let me turn to my friend Reem. So Reem again.
Yes, doctor.
So, so what is the relationship between the tail and the pet and the dog? Just think.
It's a part of the dog.
It's part of the dog. Yes, this makes sense. Okay. Can the dog, if the tail is cut, so will the dog live?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So if you لا قدر الله يعني if anyone lost his pain, will he live?
No.
No. Okay. So thank you, Aim, for having يعني a lot of information about the animal life. So okay. So anyways. So coming back, association relationship means that there's sort of a relationship between two things and they are associated to each other. So you are a student and I am an instructor, so we are associated to each other. I am not a part of you and you are not a part of me. This is called association relationship. And you as a student is associated for a given courses. And you are associated at a given department. But are you part of this thing? No, you are not part of this thing. This is an association relationship. And then it comes aggregation. Then it comes aggregation and composition. Aggregation and composition, there's a part and whole relationship. A part and whole relationship. A part and whole relationship. And aggregation and composition again, this is a part/whole relationship. Okay, so a tail is part of the dog, but the dog can live safely if the tail is being cut. Composition, it's like the brain and the body. You cannot live without your brain. So it's part of your body, but you cannot live. If you die, لا قدر الله طبعا, if your brain dies, then you die as well. So you and the brain, your life or the life of the brain and the life of you is interrelated with each other. If you die, then your brain, if your brain dies, then you should die as well. But if the tail is cut, so the dog will still live safely. So,
Doctor, could you read this again? Because I got lost.
Okay. So, I will anyways. So, association is a relationship when you are associated to something. في علاقة. You have something. في علاقة ما بين حاجتين. Aggregation and composition, they are association, but it is a stronger association. يعني ايه الكلام ده؟ Aggregation means جزء من كل. Part from. Aggregation means جزء من كل. Composition means جزء من كل. Aggregation means that the part can live separately without the whole. Composition means that the part cannot live separately without a whole. Type to understand this, I need from all of you on the chat some examples on association, on aggregation, on composition. And let me correct you. So let's have some time where you write in a relationship, forget about C++.
In general life?
In general life. Association, aggregation, composition. So Abdurrahman, can you specify current engine? This is what? So Ali Yassin, current engine, and also Abdurrahman Yusuf, current engine. This is composition. Yes. Thank you, Ali. Thank you, Abdurrahman. Ahmed, fence association. Yes, fence are association relationship. Your limbs are aggregation. No, limbs are composition. No, limbs are aggregation. Yes, because someone can live without لا قدر الله his hand. Muhammad al-Mahdi, yes, motor and engine. Maram, tree and its fruits. Composition, no, Maram. Maram, you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, tea and fruits, no, it's not composition, Maram. It's aggregation. Why? Because if you have an apple tree and then I get the apple, then the tree will live. So it's aggregation, okay?
Oh, I thought so. In composition, if so, the example of the body and the brain is composition.
Yes.
Oh, I thought that.
Yusuf Muhammad, laptop and motherboard composition, yes. Man and his brain composition. Who else has an example? So association means you have a relationship with something. Pages in the book are composition. Ala, thank you. Mustafa Zidane, great. Aggregation, plant and leaf, great. Composition. Yes, Mustafa, everything is right. Doctor and patient, this is association. Thank you, Sandra. Yahya, car and maintenance is association. Yes, thank you, Yahya. Abdurrahman, car and seat aggregation. Thank you, Abdurrahman. يلا يا جماعة, examples. Aeroplane and machine parts aggregation. Maybe some machine parts are composition, Yasanda. Some others are aggregation. It depends. يعني مثلا the airplane can live with one motor, but it cannot live while using if the two motors are not there. Student and teacher association, yes. Ali Yassin. Ali Yassin again. Amia, Student and Teacher Association. Ali, Company and Employee. Ali, company and employees, this is a sort of aggregation, not association.
Maybe then employer and employee.
It's still aggregation. A TV and the screen would be composition. I think yes, Ahmed. Bus and seats composition or aggregation. No, actually the bus and seats, this is aggregation. Because the bus can still perform without seats. Yasin, wireless headphone and Bluetooth association. This is one of the best example I have, Yasin. Thank you. Yes, Yasin, also because you associate the Bluetooth with the wireless headphone.
Thank you.
Abdullah Saba, association architect and constructor, yes. Friendship, Abdul Ati is association, yes, sort of association. TV and screen, we said so. Keyboard, keys and keyboard are composition, yes, Ibrahim. Television and screen composition. Safe, PlayStation and game, definitely It's not association, it's more into aggregation. No, I don't. Actually, it's association. Yes, yes. Ziad, computer and OS. Yes. Composition. No, no, no. It's not composition. It's association. Ziad. Muhammad Al-Azazi, mouse and the button is composition, definitely. So thank you very much for this. So now you understand that association is a relationship. Aggregation and composition, they are a stronger relationship with association. So compared to association, so aggregation and composition, they are part of a whole. They are part of a whole. They are part of a whole. So, uh, so inheritance, a kind of. Inheritance means a kind of. So a cat is a kind of a pet. A dog is a kind of a pet. Uh, uh, the triangle is a part of a shape, is a kind of a shape. The circle is a kind of a shape. So anyone doesn't understand this, this is English, has nothing to do with C++. So let's have some examples. Not examples, sorry. Let's continue. So association is this straight line. Association is this straight line. Association is this straight line. Then inheritance is this kind of a line. So it's a line and then there's a triangle out there, and this aggregation, it's a part of relationship, a part of relationship. So there's this diamond, white diamond, and then composition, it's a part of, and this is a black diamond. We will have some examples. So starting with inheritance, inheritance is a generalization, specialization relationship. What does this mean? This means that the superclass is a parent and the subclasses, those are the children classes. Those are the children classes. Those are the children classes. So subclass 1, subclass 2, they are
هو حد سامع حاجة؟
No.
Doctor got disconnected تاني تقريبا.
Do you hear me يا جماعة? Do you hear me?
Yes, yes, we hear you.
Okay, okay. So sorry for this. I already changed the connection and bought a new one, but apparently I have to switch every now and then. Anyways, so inheritance is a relationship. So the cat is an animal. القطة is an animal. So coming to UML. So I have a saving account and I have a checking account, and both of them belong to a bank account. Both of them belong to a bank account. So saving account is a bank account. Checking account is a bank account. So both the saving account and the checking account, they are both a bank account. They are both a bank account. So this is basically what's inheritance. Association, it means has a. It means there is a relation. I am associated with you. I am associated with you. I am associated with you. I have a relationship, you and me. Okay? So this relationship, either it is one directional, it is bidirectional, and then there is what's so called ternary relationship, علاقة ثلاثية. So unary association, binary association, ternary association, علاقة ثلاثية. طيب, association, what does it mean? It means that your lifetime is different than my lifetime. So what does this mean? This means the following. The professor and the book, they are related to each other. The professor and the book, they are related to each other. So what is this kind of relationship? So the professor wrote a book. This is the relationship.
Inheritance?
No, I'm saying about association. I didn't speak about inheritance. This is association.
What is the association between the professor and the book?
The professor, there is a relationship. The professor wrote a book. This is a relationship, yeah, Muhammad. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
So the professor is the author and the book is a textbook. The professor can author 0 to n books, and the book can be authored by one professor or many professors. Let me explain this in more details. So the professor can author 0 book or multiple book. This is called cardinality. This is called cardinality. So the professor can author 0 to multiple books. The book is being written by one professor or many professors. The relationship is wrote. So the author and the textbook, this is called responsibility. 1 to n, this star is n. So this means the cardinality, and wrote, this is the relationship. We will explain this again and again. So, as I said, the person and the car, this is association. if the car is broken, the person will not die. There's a bidirectional association. In Facebook, there's your user profile, and then there's a profile picture. So the user profile and the profile picture, they are associated bidirectional to each other. What does this mean? The profile picture is related to the user profile, and the user profile is related to certain profile picture. So this is a bidirectional relationship. So examples of association, student and instructor. This is an example of association. So cardinality or multiplicity, this is 0 to 1, 0 to n, 1 and 1 to n. So coming back, a person and the company, what is the relationship? The relationship that the person works in a company. The multiplicity, one person will work in one company. The company will have 1 to more persons. So the person is an employee and the company is the employer.
Why doesn't company have multiplicity؟ يعني ممكن person يشتغل في أكتر من company عادي.
ازاي يعني؟
عادي بارت تايمر هنا وبارت تايمر هنا.
والله could be. نعم. Could be, بس this is an exception, بس could be يعني. Yeah, in this case يا محمد, if you have this assumption, خلي بالك من حاجة محمد.
Yes.
خلي بالك من حاجة. Every design has some assumptions. So you have to state your assumption. يعني what you are saying as an assumption is not assumed by me. So when you do a design, you have to state your assumption. ايه الفرضيات اللي انت بنيت عليها الديزاين. Okay? So again, a person and the company works in, this is the relationship name. Multiplicity, this means that a person can work in one company. This is an assumption. And this company, there is 1 or more person working in. The person is an employee. The company is an employer. This is called the roles. This is called the roles. Type, this is the name of the relationship, and this is the multiplicity or the cardinality. Type, this is a ternary association. علاقة ثلاثية. So, what are the stakeholders of this relationship? The student and the department and the course. So, you as a student will take in a course, and this course belongs to certain department. This is a ternary relationship. The course will exist in 0 to n departments. The course will be taken by 0 to n students. Someone will tell me this 0 can be 1. Again, this is an assumption. So in this design, the department can stand without any courses. The department can stand without any students. The course cannot stand without any student or any department. This is an assumption. You have to state your assumption. Okay? Once again, this is a ternary relationship. This is a ternary relationship. علاقة ثلاثية ما بين مين ومين ومين. Student, department and the course. الكورس بيتاخد في department. الكورس بيتاخد ب certain student. الستودنت بيتبع certain department. علاقة ثلاثية ما بين الستودنت والديبارتمنت والكورس. هل في حد بارت من حد؟ الإجابة لا. ما فيش حد بارت من حد. Okay. This is called an association relationship. Coming back to aggregation and composition. So a leg, hand, and head, this is called a composition. So there's an assumption here, and what is this assumption? Someone cannot live without his leg. Someone cannot live without his hand. Someone cannot live without his head. This is an assumption also. Type aggregation, and again, how this is written? This is written by this black diamond. A leg is part of a person. A hand is part of a person. A head is part of a person. So leg, hand, and head, they are part of a person, and the person cannot live without the leg, hand, and head. Type. This is composition. This is aggregation. The wheel and car. The wheel is part of a car, but the wheel can exist without a car. The engine is part of a car. Some can say, yes, the car can exist without an engine, so it is aggregation. Someone can argue, no, the car cannot exist without an engine. This is an assumption also that you have to state in your design. Once again, this empty diamond means aggregation. Aggregation is is part of a whole. Let me continue for 5 more minutes. The person and brain, this is composition. The car and wheel, this is aggregation. Five. Someone answers me. The room and house, is it composition or aggregation?
Aggregation?
No. Composition. Can a room exist without a house?
No, and I took it from the point that a house can exist without a room. That's why I said aggregation.
No, I'm saying a room to a house, not a house to a room.
Okay,
And also, can a house exist without a room? ازاي?
For example, if a house can have 2 rooms rather than 3 rooms or something like that.
Still there's a room. Can a house exist? Excuse me?
Yes.
Even a bathroom is a room. A kitchen is a room. So it is basically composition. So just bear with me 1 minute or 2 minutes. I will show you something and then you have to leave safely. I need someone to help me other than Ali and Muhammad al-Mahdi and Ahmed al-Hager and Deeb. So someone will
Yes,
participate
doctor.
other than you, Muhammad.
تمام.
So I need a helper. Yalla, someone will help. So I will choose if you don't appear.
I can, doctor.
Okay, Maya. Okay. How many classes exist in this diagram, Maya?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Exactly. So basically, the classes exist in this diagram. It's a customer, it's a rental invoice, it's a video game, CD video, DVD video, and the rental item, and then check out screen. So, can you help me to tell me the story of this diagram, generally in English?
Okay,
And
so
start by the customer to make it easier for
yeah.
you.
So basically first for any product I'm guessing لازم يكون في customer, and
Yes.
between the customer and the product there needs to be a method of payment, or which is the rental invoice.
Yes.
And of course, hence the checkout screen where that it will display the rental invoice.
Yes.
And we also have the rental item, but it can be either a DVD movie, a CD music, or a video game.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, thank you, Maya. Some other one will tell me the relationship between the classes and each other. So let me just clear this. And Sandra, you're with me?
Yes, doctor.
So, Sandra, rental item, video game, CD music, and DVD movie. This is what kind of a relationship?
Inheritance?
Inheritance, because video game, CD music, and DVD music, it is a kind of rental item. So, a customer and rental invoice, is it really an aggregation?
Yes, because no, it could be an association.
It could be an association, yes. I don't believe it's an aggregation. I don't know why it's here an aggregation. Can someone argue, is it an aggregation or is it an association? Does someone see it as an aggregation?
No.
No. Okay, let's continue with Sander. The rental item and the rental invoice. This is a sort of what, Sander?
It's written as an abstract class, but it could be a function. It's a class.
Yeah, it's a class. It's a class. A rental item is a class. But what is the relation between rental item and rental invoice?
It's an inheritance.
No, not inheritance.
Okay, it's a competition
just
because the rental item uses the...
No, just when you say inheritance, so a rental item, is it a kind of invoice? No. A rental item ده الايتم اللي انت بتتأجريه. هل هو ده الانفويس؟ لا مش هو. هو الانفويس فيه رينتال ايتمز. يبقى ايه ريليشن شيب في الحالة دي؟ Excuse me?
I was saying it's a pointer, but it's a...
No, not a pointer. We don't have pointers here. We don't have, we have aggregation, composition, or association. So is it part? Let's have it one question by one question. Is it the rental item? Is it a part of a rental invoice? Yes or no?
Yes. No, it's related to it. It's not part of it.
No, it's part of it. So if you have the rental invoice, so it should have some items. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, so it's a part of. Can an invoice exist without an item in it?
No.
No. Then this is aggregation or composition?
Composition.
Composition, that's perfect. Type, checkout screen and rental invoice. Is it inheritance? Are they related? Is it inheritance? So you ask yourself, checkout screen, is it part of an invoice? Yes or no?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, you don't believe so. That's good. So this is the first question. The second question, is a checkout screen, is it a kind of an invoice?
No, doctor, I just said no.
No, I said, no, did I say so? So one thing, it's not a part. And the other thing, is it a kind of? Kind of, it is different than a part. يعني a part means يا ساندرا جزء من كل. Kind of يعني هو فصيلة من category أكبر. Okay?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is kind of a rental invoice because it inherits the output that the rental invoice will give.
No, not really. Not really. It doesn't inherit anything. الفاتورة ملهاش علاقة بالشاشة اللي بتطلع القيمة. هما they are related to each other يعني انت لما تبقي واقفة عند الكاشير في سوبر ماركت، هو بيوريكي الفاليو على الشاشة وفي الآخر بتطلع لك الانفويس. فهم ليهم علاقة ببعض، ان هم قد بعض. لكن هل الشاشة هي نفسها نفس الفاتورة؟ يعني الانيمال والكات، الكات هي فصيلة من الانيمال. لكن هل رينتال انفويس، هل تشيك اوت سكرين فصيلة من رينتال انفويس؟
No.
No, then it is an association. Okay?
Okay.
معلش it needs some training يعني. طيب طيب I will give you, because I am late as usual. I will give you this. I will send it to you over the WhatsApp, and please check it and identify what kind of relation. As a review, we had 4 relationships. Inheritance يعني فصيلة بالعربي. Inheritance يعني فصيلة. القطة من فصيلة الأنيمال. خلاص؟ الانهيرتنس يعني parent child relationship. الاسوشيشن يعني في علاقة ما بين طرفين. خلاص؟ يعني الطرفين دول عايشين حياتهم بمعزل عن بعض، بس هو في علاقة بينهم. خلاص؟ يعني زي مثلا friends together, a boy girlfriend. خلاص هما there's a relationship. It's not a marriage relationship. This is a different kind of relationship. كل واحد عايش حياته. طيب الاجريجيشن والكومبوزيشن this is a part from a whole. طيب الكومبوزيشن انا ما اقدرش اعيش من غيرها. بالعربي كده الكومبوزيشن ما اقدرش اعيش من غيرها. بمعنى ايه؟ البين والبادي، انا ما اقدرش اعيش من غير بين، ما اقدرش اعيش من غير هارت. خلاص؟ يبقى لو لا قدر الله الهارت مش موجود، يبقى البني ادم مش موجود. يبقى دي part from a whole. بعد كده الاجريجيشن هي جزء من كل، لكن انا اقدر اعيش بمعزل عنه. يعني لما اقول لك العربيه والويل، هل انا اقدر اشغل العربيه لو ما عنديش عجلات؟ اقدر اشغل العربيه لو ما عنديش عجلات. اوكي؟ هل اقدر اشغل العربيه لو ما عنديش انجن؟ الاجابه لا. لكن العجلات والانجن دول part from a whole. يبقى aggregation composition ده جزء من كل، احفظوها كده. part from a whole. Association there's a relationship. Inheritance فصيلة. Category parent child relationship. طيب thank you very much for this. Excuse me.
هو هنا في الدياجرام ده مين بينهرت من مين؟
ما هو ده اللي انا هديهولك كنوع من الاكسرسايز يعني، ولا انت الاشارات مش فاهمها يا؟
لا لا انا فاهم ان اللي هم اللي على اليمين خالص دول generalization والباقي كله association. ده انا فاهم يعني. تمام.
طيب بالظبط ده حقيقة. طيب once again we will meet inshallah Wednesday face to face at university. Exam up to this lecture. On Wednesday we'll take some review كده and we'll take some few additional things, and they are not part of the exam, but we will have a small thing, a small review together on Wednesday, inshallah. Thank you very much for this, and see you face to face on Wednesday, inshallah. Thank you very much. Have a blessed night, inshallah.
Thank you, doctor.
You too, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor. Have a good day.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor. Bye.
Bye bye.